All Might had ended class early today by accident, so he just decided to let everyone have free time until their next class. He didn't have much else to do, but stay in class. So he decided to listen to the conversations of some of his students. How are you today, Izuku? You asked the green-haired boy. I'm good, Yin. How are you? Izuku replied. If I recall from high school, first name basis was a big thing. Are those two in a relationship? All Might wondered. I can still come over later to study, right? You asked him. He blushed, looking away. Of course. Maybe I should discuss this with Midoriya. What am I thinking? I'm not the boy's father. Although I doubt his mother would talk to him about this. I wonder, All Might thought. Hello, students, All Might announced himself to Uraka and Ida. Normally Midoriya would be with him, but he wasn't anywhere in sight. All Might Sensei, what are you doing here? Ida asked the pro hero. Good question, young Ida. I was searching for young Midoriya. Have you seen him anywhere? All Might asked. Yeah, he went to find Lin-san. He accidentally took her phone, Uraka replied, pointing in the direction he went. Thank you very much, students, he said, running off to find his successor. He stopped at the second of your voice. He was only just behind a corner, but since he didn't want to interrupt your conversation, he waited for the two of you to finish. Oh, thank you, Izuku. I thought I lost it or something. You smiled, taking your phone from him. Of course, Ian, I'll see you in class, he stuttered, starting to walk away to his friends. Wait, you said, moving really close to his beet red face. He didn't even get the chance to respond as he gently pressed your lips against his. All Might's eyes widened as he looked away from you two. He respected his students' privacy. As a teacher, he should tell them off for PDA, but it would probably feel more awkward for Midoriya if he interrupted. Izuku relaxed a bit more, closing his eyes. He wrapped his arms around you and kissed back. You two were at school, so it didn't really go further than that before someone noticed. Hey, what are you kids doing? President Mike's loud voice echoed down the hall. Even if All Might wasn't saying anything about his students' behavior, there were other teachers who would. Sorry, Sensei. You both apologized. You ran off, and Izuku nervously stood there until President Mike walked back off to the teacher's lounge. He let out a sigh of relief, only to whelp when All Might approached him. Young Midoriya, I found you. I've been trying to find you so that we can have lunch together, he said happily. All Might, lunch, right? Yeah, I can do that, he panicked. All Might deflated as the green-haired boy did so. Calm down, kid. It's just lunch, All Might said, placing his skeleton-like hand on his shoulder. Midoriya nodded, following the pro hero to one of the teacher's lounges. The two sat down and began eating lunch before All Might began talking. As you know, young Midoriya, All for One can be transferred by DNA, he started. Is there something you forgot to tell me? Can All for One be transferred in other ways? Midoriya then started rambling, causing All Might to shake his head. That's not it, Midoriya. You're a teenager, and I know you kids want to go out and date. All Might already regretted this. He felt like a middle school health teacher. Oh. Midoriya blushed red again when he realized where this was going. I know I'm not your parent, but I want to remind you to just be careful, especially with a quirk like All for One, he explained. I understand, All Might, Midoriya stuttered. All Might sighed. You can go now if you don't wish to stay any longer. Sorry, All Might. I'm gonna go, he said, standing up almost robotically. He walked over to the door before All Might stopped him. Wait, Midoriya, I have one more thing to say. Yes, All Might? He asked, gaining some of his composure again. Young Lin, she's a nice girl, don't you agree? All Might replied, slightly smirking. Izuku left the room. never left a room so fast in his life. After school that day, Midoriya had waited a while for you were in the nurses. You weren't that injured, but you were pretty big cut on your arm from training. Please be more careful, Yin. Please be more careful, Miss Lin, recovery girl said as he stepped out of the infirmary. Sorry, Miss Recovery Girl. I'll make sure not to watch out next time. You apologize. Well, then you have a good weekend, Lin, she sighed. Izuku, I hope I didn't leave you waiting so long, you said, facing him. That doesn't matter. Are you all right, Yin? How bad was the cut? How long will you need? Izuku frantically started asking. I'm fine, Izuku. It doesn't even hurt anymore, he said. I'm glad, he said, lightly kissing your forehead. He was shaking a lot. You could tell when you held his hand. Izuku, you asked, stopping. Yes, Ian? He was cut off by your lips quickly pressing against his. He leaned towards slightly into you, returning the kiss. You smiled, threading your fingers into his hair. He moved his hands down to your wrist. Ian, he mumbled. Young Midoriya, I am here. All Might said, trailing off at the sight of the two of you. You immediately pull apart and look towards the pro. Sorry, All Might. Midoriya stuttered. He seemed like he was going to pass out. Sorry, Sensei. You also apologized. All Might chuckled, ruffling his successor's green hair and giving you a flashy smile. You two are fine. It's not my duty to stop you two after school hours. Have a good evening, he said, continuing to walk on to his office. He desperately hoped he had handled that well, and didn't want to look back to check. That was weird, Izuku said. Right? You added, looking towards your boyfriend. Let's go, he practically yelled. He sprinted out of the school, dragging you behind him. It felt very awkward around All Might from that day forward, to say the least.